national leadership crisis within African Democratic Congress, I have resolved, after careful consideration and consultations with critical stakeholders, political associates and constituents in Kaba, Bunu Ijumu Federal Constituency, and Kogi State at large, to move from the African Democratic Congress ADC to the All Progressive Congress APC.
Point of order.
Immediate effect.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
As a point of order,
Mr. Speaker.
I believe
point
that
of order.
this election has become exigent owing to the increased call from our constituents to align myself with the political party that will best accommodate our collective political values and principles.
Point of order.
Constitutional point of order.
Appreciation.
Mr. Speaker.
Constitutional point of order.
Honorable Architect Idris.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Order what?
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, point of order. Thank you. Mr. Speaker. Constitutional order.
Jesse, do you think you even
Mr. Speaker, I remain Honorable Ali Isa.
The voice of the majority is already stifling you down.
Mr. Speaker, I remain Honorable Ali Isa Jesse, representing Balanga Billy Federal Constituency. I am from Gombe State. Mr. Speaker, I am coming under Section 68 of the 1999 Constitution.
1G.
Mr. Speaker, with your permission, Section 68 clearly stated a member of the House or Senate, a member of the Senate or House of Reps shall vacate his seat if, then you go to G of the Constitution, being a person whose election whose election to the House was sponsored by one political party, he became a member of another political party before the expiration of his tenure. Mr. Speaker,
you did not read the whole entire...
Overruled!
I'm still talking.
Overruled!
Mr. Speaker, protection.
There are exceptions.
Protection.
Overruled!
I need protection, Mr. Speaker. I need protection.
Overruled!
Mr. Speaker. This section has also been interpreted by the ruling of the Supreme Court. While I wish my good brother, Honorable Salman, well, I want to declare his seat vacant, let him go back and contest in the platform of APC and come back, because as we speak, the mandate is holding is the ADC.
No.
We are appealing that the seat should be declared vacant, Mr. Speaker. And let me remind you, Mr. Speaker. Let me remind you.
Your observation is noted, even though
will be for another day. I know a lot of APC members that want to decamp to PDP, but because they are afraid of that section, they are being careful. So APC will lose a lot of members if you put this precedent, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you.
I would like you to speak on your motion today.
Okay.
And just tell us what's prompted you to bring it on the floor of the House.
Okay. Thank you. You're highly welcome. I think the motion today perhaps on stagnation in the public service, ministries, development and agencies. And the reason is, when you see the civil service, when you look at it critically, for every government policy, every government program, you need the civil service is the engine room. They are the drivers of every government policy, and when the people who are supposed to be implementing government policy are ill-motivated, I think you are indirectly saying that those government policies will suffer some form of setback course of implementation. And of course, you can't play with Nigerian civil service. They are the bedrock of the development. Anything you want to do, just appropriate any money and you want to spend it, you are going to do it through the civil servants. So they are critical stakeholders in the Nigerian nation and in the Nigerian project itself. Well, you will be wondering why I got motivated. Remember, is a parliament, and parliament seeks to work on those things, work on motions, bills that will further strengthen the nation, that will further develop the nation. And of course, this is a new government, the government of, we call it the New Hope Agenda, and whereby the implementers, nobody is really paying critical attention to them. You give appointments, ministers are given to politicians, different appointments are made. Whatever they call it, the civil servants. The civil servants are there all the time. They are to work for 35, they have a 35-year lifespan. Politicians, even the president just has an 8-year lifespan. So they will come and go. But that institution needed to be strengthened. And of course, I have some level of experience in that institution to know that it's mandatory that you are promoted. It's mandatory, it's not optional. You can't work in anywhere, in any environment and don't want to grow. It is expected that you last 35 years and every civil servant hopes to be the head of service one day, or at the best a permanent secretary, or at the minimum you retire as a director. If you're not too fortunate, you retire as a deputy director. So when we're talking about stagnation in promotion, there is this in the civil service when you join. Promotion comes every 3 or 4 years. But in the institution where you find out that someone is not promoted for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. And when you choose to do that promotion, you don't take into cognizance those levels which he has missed out on. What do? You just promote him. There's an English that is used in civil service vocabulary. Notionally, you backdate it. But financially, you commence it from that year you are announcing. The question you ask me is, when funds are made available or when monies have been appropriated, every ministry year in year out, when they come for budgeting, budget defense, their recurrent expenditure, you find out this year is higher than the preceding year. And when you ask such questions, they tell you, oh, we're doing promotion. Oh, we're doing promotion. We're paying for increment. You know, you work in civil service, there's increment yearly. Then there's promotion at the end of 3 years, provided you pass the professional exam or any assessment. You know, we assess civil servants too. In fact, they are assessed almost every 6 months. So, for me, if we have this kind of stagnation backlog, of course, you have dampened the morale of that particular civil servant. And as such, I think as my own contribution to nationhood, and as a parliamentarian, we seek for those things that will further our mission. And that's the reason why the motion was raised today.
Away from your motion, I would like you to speak on the constituency.
My constituency is Kababulu.
Yes, I think it's over a year now since you became a lawmaker.
Yes.
I'd like to tell your people what you have in store for them and what has been achieved in the last 12 months.
Well, we thank God we're 1 year old in office today. And what we promise the people have an issue is very robust representation. And that is what you see we are doing. We will not just be there to fill in the gaps, we will be there to advance the cause of our people. And as it is, that's why I told you when you came, you met senior citizens of my federal constituency here. I think on all that we have done, so far, so good. You know, our people, Kababulu Federal Constituency, by extension, all Oko people. One of the things that is our major industry has to do with education. And one remarkable thing that the people, I won't even say myself, the people have engaged me to do. You know, we have a university in Kaba, which is a campus of a particular university, ABU's area. So we have a bill on the floor of the House seeking to convert or seeking to establish the Federal College, Federal University of Agriculture in Kaba, which is in line. Of course, you know, one of the policies of this government, the program, is food security. And of course, you cannot attain food security when you have not also, you have to take the agric institutions and what researches is being done. And I think if, by the grace of God, it was passed in the other assembly, which is the 9th assembly, but honestly, it was not accepted to. So I think for me, one of the greatest things I would be so happy to be part of is that assignment that has been so given for me to see it to function, for me to see it being passed again, and for me to see it being assented to. And I think for me, you yourself will be proud of us that we have such an institution there. And that's coming among several other things that, of course, we stand for. We are part and parcel of Nigeria. We're legislating for the whole country, which my federal constituency is an integral part of.
In terms of youth empowerment, what would you say has been the missing gap over the years, and how you hope to actually fill this?
Well, it depends on what you call youth empowerment. You know, that word empowerment these days now, over time, has been misused. When you say empowerment, a lot of people see it from a jamboree like. In fact, a lot of people see cash transfers as empowerment. But I think when we're looking at youth empowerment, we start by capacity building of the youth. And of course, anything that we seek to further the growth, building the capacity of the youth, of course, will be part and parcel of it. And to God be the glory, I think today my brother here just organized a particular empowerment in Kababule. In fact, it started today. I think it's starting from today to 6th, where he's training our youth on artificial intelligence. I'm just a vehicle. It's his idea. And for me, as I am in the House of Rep, if you have such idea, you bring it. If I stop it, then I don't believe in youth empowerment. But if I allow it go as a vehicle, if I decide to carry it, that's the reason why I say, I'm here for you, I'm here for everybody. Anything you bring, we're there. So, youth empowerment is strictly something that will not take underestimate.
Okay, are there any other things you want
So many.
people to expect probably in the next 12 months?
Well, it depends. Some of you, it depends. We can't be too ambiguous about these things. There can be specifics, but one thing I'm going to tell you is that we have just passed our budget not long ago. And of course, people should expect infrastructural development. Today, Nigeria has become Nigeria of, let me put it this way, because of the kind of problem we have interventions like palliatives. Of course, we shy away from such things too, that will cushion our people. That is for the short term. And of course, we go for the long-term development. We will be there for the infrastructural development of our people and our environment. So as long as Nigeria grows, Kababule Federal Constituency goes along. We can't grow independent of the nation.
Constitution review is
Yes.
actually taking a certain stage at the moment.
Yes.
Do you have anything you would want to actually bring to from the National Assembly as a whole to say, okay, Kaba or your constituency as a whole has a stake in this?
Well, when you're talking of constituency review, I'll tell you the major thing that catches people right now. But one thing I want to believe in that will affect Nigeria and affect me, that I believe in, is local government autonomy. For me, we want local government autonomy. You know, it's not specific to Kaba. It's specific to, I mean, it's a generalized thing that we all seek to want. We must bring government closest to the people as much as possible. So for me, one key point I will hold is local government autonomy. But of course, you know, when we're talking of constitutional review, it will still come down to the center. All of us will debate it. We have burning issues like state policing. Wherever we have burning issues like state creation, people have even met me and said, oh, we heard that they are creating states. Are we not going to create Kaba states? Let's see how it goes when we get there. For now, what we're doing is everybody is bringing input.
And what's your working like now that you're here and working, should expect and believe in your vision?
I keep thanking them for having the confidence in me that I could represent them, and also keep pleading for understanding from them so that they bear with us. Once you are elected, it's a whole lot of body. It's not going to be easy to travel the whole thing. It's a very serious, deep sea water. However, with their support, we can move mountains. Thank you.
So,
You're welcome.
we need to take